We made $20,000 in the month of March. Let's talk about how we spent it and if we were able to send an extra amount to debt. What's up, y'all? My name is Rochelle, and I am back with my latest video sharing with you guys how it went for us in the month of March 2025. Let's jump right in. First off, our income totaled $20,289.49. That is better than the estimated income we had of $16,453. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So let's talk about what we were able to accomplish. First up, hubby's income was supposed to be about $6,600. He killed it and instead brought in $7,836.25. Yes, yes. Sister Locks, I thought I would make about $5,940. Instead, we brought in $6,988.87. Yes, yes. Then next up, my virtual assistant work, I usually make about $2,000. But I brought in $3,500, y'all. And that is because, remember, I told y'all I had an overdue invoice that I needed to have a client make good on. And I'm so glad they were able to get that done for me in the month of March. Talk about the best anniversary gift, to have no outstanding invoices for any of my clients. Things happen, businesses, have high months and low months. So it is, something that I strive to do, is to always make sure that I am bringing in proper income for my business every month, because I have a team, y'all. I have people that I have to pay, whether I get paid or not. So shout out to that. Our rental property bought in $1,713 per usual. YouTube, y'all did it again. Y'all got me another YouTube check for the month. I thought I would make about $200. I made $219.45. My business was pretty much shut down as far as my physical products in the month of March, but I was still able to make $21.14 in digital purchases because we did travel in the month of basically March and April. I was off. Then we had some miscellaneous income. Sometimes we get like reimbursements or for using the ATMs or stuff like that. We got $10.78. Add it all up, y'all, we get $20K. So I am happy with that. Now, we did want to send at least $1,000 to savings. My goal is to send like 10% of our income to savings every month. We got to 7%. So last month, I think we were at 3 to 5%. But this month, well, in March, we were able to send a total of $1,031.60 to savings and investing. Now, I don't share my husband's investing that comes out of his W-2 every time he gets paid because I never really look at his W-2. I need to start incorporating that. We have a lot of things that come out of his check other than cash. So other than cash that hits our bank account. So, but yeah, that's what we got there. So that was good. Debt, we were able to send $9,230.86 to debt. I will share a more in-depth breakdown of that in a couple minutes. That means we sent 45% to debt. Next is our bills, which totaled $3,471.84. That means instead of the 21% we anticipated, we were able to lower it to 17% of our income. Now that's because of two things. Yes, we made more money, but also a couple of our bills did come in a little less than what we anticipated. That's always good. Next up is spending. And so spending, we totaled $4,187.19. That means 11% of our income this month went to spending. I do want to see that go down in the next few months, but it just is what it is. I'm going to try and just continue to maintain our income, which is usually between $10,000 and $14,000 per month. I'm just trying to keep that going, honestly. So it is what it is. Sinking funds was amazing in the month of March. 20% of our income went to sinking funds. That is in the form of cash envelopes, taxes that I set aside, tax money I set aside because of my Sister Locks income, and other sinking fund buckets, such as buckets for our rental property for when things go haywire, which always does. So that totaled $2,368. Y'all. That means total for the month, we sent $12,702.70 to our expenses, which I count our bills and debt. That is the things we got to pay if we want to survive. Yes, I could go without, shopping and all the other spending categories, but for sure we have to pay the bills and debt. So I'm always looking at that number and trying to make sure that I lower it. So that is our income/expenses. Now let's talk about a more in-depth March debt update. So I had to go back to the OG, y'all. I used one of my old debt payoff trackers. In fact, I might throw it up on my website for you guys if you want something digital to use. I really am thinking about going digital and sharing these monthly debt updates with you guys, because it's harder on paper sometimes because I'm manually going into all of these statements and all of these updates. Now, just take it with a caveat. These numbers are pulled at random times. So I might start doing the debt update for the month of March on like April 5th. And some of the billing cycles have not started charging me interest for the new billing cycle yet. So that number may appear to be lower on March 5th, but then when I do an update on on May 5th for the month of April, you might not see that much of a change. And that's because they have already charged me that interest. And this is why you got to just keep on attacking this debt, y'all, because interest does not wait for anyone. It's going to continue to accrue. Now, what I do is I take ownership for times where I feel like we had spending on a credit card that we did not account for. There are 2 to 3 credit cards that we are trying to nail down, y'all. We are trying to cut the spending on these credit cards. In fact, I talked about it in my last debt update, and I shared with you guys how I was having trouble with the Apple family account. And I want to say it more at the beginning of my video in case some people didn't hear me talk about it, but I am struggling to figure out how to plan for spending that happens from other family members outside of our household who are on our family plan. And sometimes they don't always send us the money in time to cover those transactions. And so it looks like our credit card balance is going up. And so I've looked at the other options, trying to see if I could put a non-Apple card, attach a non-Apple card to that account. I've also looked at went down a deep Reddit hole earlier this morning, trying to see if I could turn off purchases, family purchases, so that if they do want to buy something, then it would have to come out of their account. And so we'll see what happens. But just to give you an idea, these are 18 and over family members. These are not these are people who are grown enough. It's just that we have the Apple family plan, and it's just it's nice because it's, all of us are on the same plan. We don't, and when I say plan, I mean like the phone bill plan, which is separate, that's Mint Mobile, but I'm specifically talking about the Apple family plan, which means we would share access to the games that we all buy, the apps that we can share and use together, which we usually do. I could do a whole separate video on just that. And I just feel like it's something that needs to be addressed. And it might end up meaning that we have to go off on our own and let other people just be on their own plan. So let me know if you have any thoughts on that, how to navigate that. It's a thing. Alrighty, so I am so happy with this debt update tracker because it really shows our progress since December 2024, where we started off by paying our rental property credit card, which had a balance of $2,398.92. That was for annual property taxes, landlord insurance, and miscellaneous spending like repairs on the house for things that needed to be done. So right now it's still at a zero balance. Thank you. Next up, in February, we were able to pay off my first RA business card in the amount of $4,127.10. And then in the month of March, we were able to pay off my second business credit card, the Spark, totaling $4,372.59. Now you can see I have those debts listed pretty much from from smallest to largest, but my goal right now is to jump down to number 8, which is Discover, and start paying a little extra on that, just simply because that is one of the very early debts that we acquired. And I just feel like we have paid them so much interest. We need to start shaving it down. Even if we don't pay it all the way down, I want to get it down to at least an amount where I can see our payments hitting, because we're just getting killed in interest. It's pretty much like they're taking every dollar and every penny of our minimum monthly payment, and the number was not going down. In fact, it was just like a hair from going up every month. And this is why we do this. This is why we jump into this debt at a cellular level and try and knock it out. So that's just, you know, there's the right way to do stuff, and then there's what you feel like the numbers are telling you, and you need to decide what you're going to do with that. Alrighty, so after we figure out, discover, and get a handle on that, we will be attacking our Apple credit cards. You can see that they went up. My husband's Apple card is the one under attack right now. Yeah, because of the spending. And so we need to nip that in the bud. We are working on it. We're having the conversations with the family members, so they do know. My Apple card did go down by $100, so that was good. My sister-in-law's credit card went up. Now, this is a great example of what I mean by the original balance and the new balance being very high. It had not taken into account my payment that I made. That is one credit card that I still do spend to buy stuff for the business. And my goal is to cover the spending and also make the minimum payment. And that is something that I am striving to do for every card. If I see any action on any of these business cards, then it needs to be addressed immediately in the same billing cycle. Other than that, we do not spend on our credit cards. I get a lot of comments asking like, why do you keep using these credit cards? It is the business credit card. And the thing that I'm not going to do is attach business spending to a checking account and just charge. I already have enough problems. In fact, I'm dealing with one banking issue right now directly that, yeah, we are not trusting these banks. And I have a whole nother video coming because it is a whole conversation that needs to be had about this economy and not only how it's affecting us regular people who are just trying to survive it, but also how it's affecting these businesses. And I really feel like these banks ain't got it, y'all. I feel like these banks ain't got it because they are giving me such a hard time about basic transactions. Anyway, the conversation is coming. Okay, and then if you jump down to number 9, venture, we were able to lower that down to $15,791.62. Sapphire, we lowered that down to $15,838.33. Amex continues to dive a little each month, down to $16,390.49. My husband's credit card, $20,525.54. My credit card went down also $22,571.48. Our car payment, I was able to log into Micah's account because the car is in his name, even though it's a joint. Anyway. It is down to $23,280.73, which means that I must have missed a payment somewhere because I was anticipating it would hit 24,000, not like 200 or something like that. So for it to be down by like pretty much 2 payments means that I missed a payment. Same thing. Sometimes you're logging in and it just hasn't updated yet. Then page 2, because yes, we have 2 pages of debt. Our 2 highest debts that I can't wait to attack. Prime is actually up to, $27,437.26. That should have a nice update on it for our April debt update because I'm waiting for a couple payments to clear for a couple cards, this being one of them. This was a card that was attached to our insurance. So we got in a car accident, somebody hit us, not our fault. And we went for to get the car checked for damage so that they can figure out a plan to repair the car. The car is still drivable. It's not a big deal. But of course, our car insurance deductible was due. It was $500. And that card was actually rolled and charged. And without me realizing it, wrong card. So I actually have $500 that I pulled out of my cash envelopes, our car sinking fund, and that's going to cover that. So just waiting for it to hit. So this is what I mean, y'all, in real time. And so I also removed that card so that hopefully that won't happen again. And then lastly is our HELOC balance, which is $94,858.54. Okay, now let's talk about how we were able to move the needle just a little. So in the savings category, we started off the beginning of the month with 1,000. I just realized I did the wrong math on that. Good thing I got my calculator. Excuse me. So we started off with $1,731.54. We were able to add $980.82 to savings, which means that our updated total should be $2,712.36. I don't know where I got 1812.36, y'all. This is why I work with erasable pens. It's got me in a chokehold, baby. Alrighty, so that is good. We are finally seeing our savings grow. And my goal for the month of April, since we were off for pretty much the first half of the month, is that I am going to focus on just small debt payments, extra debt payments to Discover, and a little more to savings if at all possible. But we are going to have decreased income because when I'm off, I don't get paid. And my husband, I think he had enough PTO for most of his time off, but I don't like to count that until I actually see it hit the bank account. So we'll see. We will see. Now let's talk about our overall debt, y'all. Let's talk about the number. This is why we do what we do. Okay, so we last talked in the month of February, and we had gotten our debt down from $273,965.59 down to $270,834.51. Now in the month of March, we were able to lower that by $5,442.85, meaning that our new debt is now down to $265,391.66. Y'all, despite our mistakes, despite our missteps, despite things happening, we still paid over $5,000 in interest. I won't say interest free, but we spent really $10K to see the needle move down by $5K. So that's basically what we're seeing is basically we are making double the payment to see half the reward. I don't know. It's just how it is. I might have said that wrong, but y'all get what I'm saying. And so this is why it really does work. Weekly income budgeting works for us. Contributing to savings while paying down debt also works for us. Tracking our expenses closely. I am proud of us. One thing about us, this debt, if you're new here, this is our second time being on the road to debt freedom. We've been debt free before. Last time we were attempting to pay down debt, it was a lot easier. We had different income sources. Things were a lot better. Interest rates were a lot better. What a difference 5 years makes. Also, those were different types of debts. This time it's different. And so we are just trying to stay accountable. That door could not have been any more squeaky. This time we're just trying to, feed off of that energy that we had from years past and knock it out again. But this is my advice to anyone on the same debt-free journey as us. Allow yourself some grace. Times are different. Prices are higher. Interest is higher. Money does not go as far as it used to. And so, you might be making progress and just not seeing it, as quickly as you would like to. Take a look at your income sources and try to, diversify those. Don't just depend on one income source. And people always say, oh, lower your expenses. Yeah, you can, but increase your income if at all possible also. Alrighty, so now you can see my credit card tracker update. We now have 5 orange zeros, meaning we have paid off 5 cards. I am so, so proud of us. We have a total of 15 lines of credit. This does not include the HELOC. And so, to get that, so right now we're at 10 out of 15 cards left to pay off. So it's happening, y'all. It's happening. Here is a more in-depth look at our car payment update. You can see how those payments really do hit and the interest that does accrue. It still doesn't get in the way of the needle moving. And that's because it's at a very low interest rate, like 2-point-something%. So I have decided that we have decided that we're just going to stick to paying down our consumer debt. We're not going to focus on the car, but it will be paid off either end of next year or very beginning of 2027. So I am excited to not have a car payment again. Can you imagine what we'll do with the extra $888 again every month? So love it, love it, love it. I was trying to move, y'all. I was trying to get to this video. I didn't want y'all sitting here all day. Y'all got to get back to your day, okay? But thank you guys for tuning in. If there's something I forgot, I will include it in an upcoming video. But thank you guys for always tuning in to our debt updates. These videos really help us to stay motivated, especially myself as a content creator, because it is easy to not show up. So thank you for choosing to watch today, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Until then, you know what it is. Peace, love, and budgets.